Welcome to the weather forecast for the week beginning Wednesday, June 30th, 2021. Can't believe another month is ending. This is Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth for Longmont Public Media. To get our lunar calendar back in line, I'm keeping last week's lunar phase, so Thursday, July 1st will be the third quarter moon in this forecast period. Looking at drought, not much is changing. Everything east of the divide is remaining drought-free. If you take a look at last week to this week, things got a little worse up here. Larimer County, a little worse on the Utah border, but just tiny changes. We would like to see a lot more precipitation and moisture out west, but nationally, a little worsening of the drought in the northern plains and in the Pacific Northwest. We have all that record heat going out there, just baking everything. We're losing soil moisture because of that. It's being the other side of the high pressure system and the ridge west of us. Taking a look at Wednesday's fire status, the other fires here that I labeled last week, I've taken their labels away because they're 90 to 100% contained. The ones that are not are the Muddy Slide, Oil Springs, and Sylvan. Still pretty open, but with the cooler temperatures and the moisture, higher humidities, these are probably going to be easier to fight, as we've seen with the other fires that are already in much better shape. And looking at smoke, we don't have very much fire activity expected over the next day from the beginning of this forecast period, so nothing much there to be concerned about either. Something happening up here in Northern California, and that's not good, or Nevada. So looking at precipitation, we did get some good precipitation out west. The light greens are a ½ inch to an inch, so the western slopes did get some relief. In the mountains, northern mountains, Palmer Divide on the plains, many areas getting 2 to 3 inches of rain. The water just keeps coming. Also, to get the severe weather maps in line, I have not changed this from last week. So going to the first week of July, we still have that chance of severe weather, but as you see, we won't have that over the next few days. So the big picture is we have this low out west with this trough. Over the top of it is a big ridge that's roasting the Pacific Northwest. With the low down here and the high to our east, we have this feed of tropical moisture pumping up into the nation. And we're kind of the focus of all that incoming moisture, as is Texas. So by Wednesday, the upper air pattern has the low still to our west, ridge out here. We have the high to our east, and the green arrows show the moisture coming in. You can see that in the precipitatable water map as well, with good fetches of moisture coming in continuously. Without a strong jet stream aloft, without lots of cold air aloft, severe weather is not much of a problem at all. We have a chance of convection on Wednesday, day 2, and Thursday, day 3. The severe things are confined to the East Coast and northeastern U.S. By Sunday, 4th of July, Independence Day, we have a high reestablishing itself. It takes a while to really build, and we'll see that in just a moment. A little weakness in between, but with the high to our west, we still have north-northwest flow. So we will keep cooler temperatures. That doesn't do anything to relieve the western states, though. They got southerly flow arcing up over this big ridge, kind of extending towards them. So still hot out there and still normal to below normal here. Taking a look at that, something must have gone crazy with the model. This is the current GFS ensemble, but look at these temperatures. They have a high in 70s, mid-70s, with 84 being up here, normally 87 to 89. So probably can discount this run. There's something wacky that happened there. Precipitation looks accurate, especially with the increase in storminess with passing shortwave and a blob of additional moisture coming in for the end of this week. By Independence Day, we have a little less coverage and showery activity, and then the daily afternoon pulse of thunderstorms off into the following 10 days. So let's put this in motion, taking a look at this low pressure here, this weakness in the in the upper atmosphere, kind of extension of this trough. As we approach Saturday into Sunday, high pressure starts to get its act together. It isn't really strong initially, and then it gets strengthened by the beginning of next week. But it's down here around Vegas and Southern California. We are on the north flow side of the circulation. Going into Thursday next week, the high really builds up into the Rockies, but we continue with northerly flow aloft. Pretty interesting. So that's not what you normally see. Let's take a look at the temperatures. Because of the position of the circulation and the high, keep an eye on the western states as they just bake. And we continue to have below normal temperatures on this side of the Continental Divide. There's the afternoon thunderstorms popping up that cool the area. There they are again in the afternoon. So the daily pulse of afternoon thunderstorms going through the 4th of July, Independence Day, and on into next week. When the heat really builds again late next week in the west, we warm up a little bit, but goodness, compared to what we could have had, we are getting off pretty nicely. I won't play too much of the moisture flow map here. This is the precipitable water, and the green coloration is above normal amounts of atmospheric moisture, not precipitation, and the browns are below normal. There's a cold front spreading down with dry air, but we just stay saturated and with moisture. There's just a lot of moisture here. So as long as we don't have a ridge right overhead suppressing upward motion, we have afternoon thunderstorms that can pop off any day. Again, for this, I won't play much of it either. You can see the afternoon showers. Here's Thursday noon. Friday's our wettest day with good coverage of storms. Friday and then into Saturday, we have another good pulse of storms. For Independence Day, it gets going on the mountains and sweeps by pretty quickly. For Monday, the same thing happens. It does kind of dry out later in the week, but that's kind of far away, and maybe the model isn't capturing reality as much as we'd want. So over the next 5 days, the foothills, northern mountains, the Palmer Divide, Central Plains get good amounts of water. Add another 5 days to that, and the wet places continue to get wetter. There's still some rain chances on the western slopes. It's not completely dry except right here in the Four Corners area. But yep, moisture west of the divide is something we still need a lot more of. So I'm going a little warmer than the GFS ensemble with low 80s, upper 70s. In the weekend we warm up as the ridge kind of establishes itself. Even though we have northerly flow, just means we won't go into the above normal area, and then we cool down again next week. Daily chances of thunderstorms, best chance of storms and rain this week will be Friday into Saturday morning. We can take a look at the long term, and the Weather Service has not done a great job with capturing the month ahead. We've been wet and moist much of the time, and here they have above average chances of above normal temperatures for July. That hasn't occurred every day, but we'll see. And then taking a look at precipitation, they have us around normal, below normal in the Pacific Northwest. That's believable, and very moist in the southeastern U.S. So we'll keep an eye on that. And back up here to one graphic I missed for Independence Day. Oh, it is fighting me, isn't it? You just don't want to do this one. Independence Day, we'll have a high of 88 Fahrenheit, low of 59. For Longmont, the sort of replacement fireworks over at Fox Creek will begin around 9:45 p.m. The temperature at that time should be about 72. 50% cloud cover, only about a 15-20% chance of showers. They should have moved through by that time, if there are any. Light winds out of the north-northwest. All right, so we zip back up to the end. crazy time, but here I am out in the woods trying to keep weather going even though I'm on vacation. So thank you for your patience. For frequent weather updates and local news, check out Longmont Leader, longmontleader.com. This has been Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth. Keep looking up.